Do we need a note taker?
In either position. Okay, it works in that position. Okay. So the majority of the session is going to be reporting out. So I don't think we need notes for that because it'll just be information that we already know. But we do have an open mic portion. And so if we could get somebody to take notes for that section, I think that might be useful. So do we have any volunteers? Lights being what they are in here, I may not be able to tell if somebody raises their hand.
Ted raised his hand. Ted, did you raise your hand there? Oh, sorry, it's my bad eyesight. That's really appreciated. Do you want? Should I do the first bit?
Yeah, go for it.
I think I might stand up because.
Do you want the slide clicker?
I'll just say next. So, I'm Gory, in case you don't know who I am. I've just messed my mic up, which is going to be like this now. This is Mike. Hi, Mike.
Mike Bishop with AD.
We're both the ADs, and the main purpose of this session is to say thank you for being a part of WIT if you are. If you're not, please come and join us. We'd like to give a bit of visibility about what's going on, and we'd also like to indicate that really if you have any questions about this, please contact us or any of the other chairs to find out more. And if you don't know, you're in Madrid, it's July, and this is covered by the IETF Note Well. We have an agenda. The agenda looks exactly like this. Principally, we're just going to give you a very short run through about the different working groups and their outputs, say a little bit about the directorates and review team, and then give you information about the BOFs and some news from WITAREA from a couple of the working groups which are doing work that you might not have heard of.
Do we have the Note Well in here?
We don't have the note well in the slide deck because as ADs, we assumed everybody would have a note well in their slide deck.
If you are not familiar with the IETF Note Well, please open your browser search engine of choice and search for IETF Note Well. Also, the note really well of we don't do mean things to each other, we disagree with ideas, not people.
All of which is important, but this WITAREA meeting does not have any drafts and will not have any drafts because it's an information dissemination and gathering exercise. And we have an open mic at the end in case you would like to say anything you like relating to our area. Next slide. This is our area. We have 17 working groups. This time we're going to run through these because it's all been created quite recently, and some people might not be aware of the different sides of WIT, the red side and the green side, and the two directorates we have, and we only have one buff this time, but we'll mention another one which is quite related. Next slide. Oh, our job is essentially to start work and to publish RFCs. In the last period, we published 8 RFCs. They are distributed largely between the HTTP side and the more traditional transport part of the area. And we did well, most of which glory goes to the previous ADs rather than this group of ADs. But still, as an area, we're doing well in publishing stuff.
And I note that both of our previous ADs are sitting out there, I believe. So thank you for your service.
Oh, yeah. Let's give a reward where it's due. These are the set of working groups that I'm doing my best to look after. So if you're interested in any of these in any way or any comments on them, please get back to me. I put a star next to happy because I like the happy acronym. I think we should be happy. And more importantly, happy is a new activity. So if you've not seen happy, please go and have a look at what's behind this interesting acronym. This is also a list of chairs. So feel free to reach out to chairs. You want to say more? No, next slide. These groups are doing work. There are a couple of drafts in IESG evaluation or with the AD, which are going forward. These should appear on Telechat soon. There are documents which have now cleared all the IESG review, been updated and now in RFC editor. And this is the group of these documents for this side of the area. And then we move to Mike.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get down to that. Let's see if we can. All right, I guess I'll hold on to it up here. All right, so these are the working groups that I'm responsible for. A similar star over here for AI Pref, because that is also new work. They met for the first time at the previous IETF. They are moving at quite the pace, and we will hear from them a little bit later as one of the working groups that we want to draw people's attention to and maybe get some additional participation in. We also have many others that have been around for a while and are doing good work. Next. So we have a couple of drafts right now. We've got, I believe, 3 or 4 from the core working group are in last call right now. We have several that are pending telechats, and we've got a couple that have gone to the RFC editor and will be published shortly. So David, at this point, will be telling us more about the BOFs that we have in and related to this area. When he's done with his conversation. All right.
Sorry. Taking off the thing is a lot easier. Hi, sorry. Wow. Sorry about that. Hello, everyone. I'm David Skenazy, a witty enthusiast. So we have one bot BOF in the WIT area this week, which is potato. It's spelled PTTH and is about reverse HTTP. Everyone's been very witty in the naming of this thing. It's been great. So what is it? In general, HTTP, you have a client and the server, and that maps with the client and server concepts at the lower layers, at the transport and the security, as in the initiator of your TCP connection or your quick connection is also the HTTP client that sends requests. But there's a growing number of use cases where it would be nice to reverse these things, where the HTTP client, like the entity that's sending the HTTP request, is actually the TCP server or the quick server. So an example of where that is useful is, let's say you have a website and you want to put it behind a CDN, for example, for DOS prevention purposes. The way people do it now is you hand over, thank you, you have your DNS point to the CDN, and then the CDN sends requests to you, but people could still DOS your origin directly, so people have like IP rules to only allow that. If instead that server could only allow outgoing connections and outgoing to the CDN, you could have much better systems. There's a bunch of other reasons why this is interesting, and if you want to hear about them, please come to the BOF Thursday at 5.
We don't have a slide for the other?
Yeah, of course. So there is another BOF that is not in the WIT area, but that is related, called WebBot Auth. And so since WIT has a W in it too, I figured I should talk to you about it as well. So the idea there is we have a lot of bots on the internet. Some of them are like crawlers for search engines. Some of them are AI agents, the Internet Archive, many of them. And they're also bad bots, like people with scripts trying to harm websites. And from HTTP server's perspective, it's really important to be able to tell the difference, because you want to block the bad ones, or at least rate limit them, without harming the good ones that are well-behaved, that respect robots.txt. So this is an effort to have a way for these bots to cryptographically authenticate themselves. If that is of interest to you, please come to the BOF today at, I'm chairing it. I should probably know when that is.
I will double check.
All right. I think it's the first session this afternoon. Second session this afternoon at 5 p.m.
5 p.m.
All right.
Also in here.
Thanks. Any questions on those? Mainly, if you have them, come to the BOF and ask them there, because the presenters will do a better job than I at explaining it.
And I will note for that BOF, it is jointly held between WIT and SEC right now. So which area it winds up in, TBD. But as Deb frequently says, if you squint at it hard enough, everything is security. So
Magnus next. So we thought it'd be useful just to, from time to time, have an update from the directorates and the area review teams. And this is Magnus on behalf of the TSV art team.
Yes, Magnus Westlund. I'm one of the 2 people doing triage for the transport area review team. The other one is Wes Eddy. So we try to review for the general IETF and especially AD's benefits, drafts with potential transport protocol related challenges. First in IETF last call. We also see, which is really great, a fairly good uptake on early review requests by ADs and especially working group chairs, which is very good that they actually dare to ask us early on when it's easy to change things or address things before it gets too far down. So this is great. It's very positive development. So transport area review team doesn't review all documents, especially not in the last call documents. We try to do all which is in early reviews, of course, but we select documents and we do select them and assign them based on our review team's expertise to different reviewers. So you try to get the best match for that. The current workload for a reviewer is fairly low. It's usually around one, maybe two documents between each meeting. We do currently have some room for some more additional reviewers. So if you're interested in contributing to reviewing, send an email to tsv-triage@itf.org and let's discuss it. And I also want to remind you, we do have a bit of a wiki page where some common issues we kind of have found during the years in the team. Next slide. So here is the actual reviewers and how many documents they've done so far this year. We would like to thank all of our reviewers for their excellent work and hard work. So it's when it's hard, but often not that hard. But so, any question about to me as a TSV art?
Martin Duke, Google. You forgot to mention the rich reward, which is the TSV art dinner.
Yes, that's the that's one benefit of it. Yes, so trying to maintain a community around us, reviewers, and the share with the transport side, the shares also. So yeah.
And I would underline that we're trying to experiment with getting more people to send early reviews. So if you have something that's got congestion control or some sort of transporty interaction and you're a chair or you're an author thinking this is ready for working group last call, it'd be really good to send it to TSV Art ahead and get a review, because maybe we can fix things before or alert you to where words would help before that process finishes. Okay, thanks. HTTP DIR.
So I will speak on behalf of this one. We are a much smaller directorate. We don't, similarly, we don't attempt to review every document. We focus mainly on those documents that we've been asked to review, whether by working groups earlier in the process or as ADs need extra eyes on things. So for anything that is building on top of HTTP, please, please, please request this review early, because we can help head off errors of usage that we have some BCPs discussing that are maybe difficult to retrofit and change late in the working group process. Again, thank you to all of our reviewers. And if we have other HTTP experts who'd like to be included, let us know. So finally, we have report outs from two working groups that are expanding their directions. AI-Pref is new. CD&I has been around for a while, but is picking up new work. And would like to tell us all a little bit about those.
And if this is all stitched up correctly, then we should have a remote presenter for the CD&I work. Do we have one? Is the one in Meetecho?
I don't see a request for slides. Who are we looking for?
Chris, I think. Chris, I think. Okay, we'll do AI-Pref first and we'll work that out.
All right. Suresh, can we jump to you then? Okay, I've seen him physically. He's here. Suresh? Okay. Well, maybe we should move to open mic time and come back to both of those once our presenters have shown up.
We can try that.
We have slides there, so we'll have to skip past that. All right, is there anything that anyone would like to discuss in WITAREA right now?
Hi, Martin Duke again. you didn't make the pitch, I guess I will. Like we're getting around to another nom-com cycle here.
Mhm.
So I believe Gory's term is up as WIT. And are you undecided, Gory? Is that correct? As to whether you're going to continue?
I may be able to continue, but
Excellent.
I also may not. So if people are interested in the job of a WIT AD, then please speak to NONCOM or also speak to me or Mike, because we're always interested in speaking to people, even if it's going to be in the future or very soon. If you're just interested in the job, please come and speak to us or go to the NONCOM hours and talk to people there.
Yeah, thanks for your service. And yeah, Gory's doing a great job, but we always love to have more candidates.
Yes. So along those lines, it is Thursday morning, I believe. Yes, Thursday at 11:35 during the break. We have an Ask Me Anything session for people who are interested in potentially taking up AD roles, or you just want to know more about what it is that we do. We have a couple of ADs who've been on the job for various lengths of time who are happy to answer questions about what it is that we do and how many documents we have to read through on a given week. So please do come to that, whether you're interested in being a WIT AD or any other area.
Then I guess I'll take the CD ourselves.
All right.
Yeah, I'll take it. So we'll go through the brief update from CDNI. Why are we talking about this? Well, we're talking about this because the CDNI meeting is usually quite small. And you may not be very familiar with what's going on. So let me talk a little bit about it and see if you might be encouraged to read their work or contribute to their work. The working group is about the interconnection of separately administered CDNs. It's a little bit different to what the major players are doing. It's major players doing one thing and other people trying to produce some open standards to produce a different approach to solving the building multiple CDNs, ultimately how they interact together and with users. The group's been quite successful. It's published 10 RFCs since it was first started. And it works well with other external bodies outside of the IETF and maybe engages just a few less people within the IETF than many of our other WIT groups. So please go along and find out more about this. Since 2020, things have changed a bit. Let's go next slide. Been 4 new publications out of the group, and there's one on the way. Take the next slide. People are implementing this, so it's not one of the groups that's just sitting around producing documents. We like to see implementation, and there is implementation here. There's new work active in the group, and they're trying to extend their charter at the moment in rewriting their charter, updating their charter process to allow adoption of 4 new drafts to complete the current area of work. There's a meeting on Monday, and one of the items at that meeting is to discuss the proposed charter updates. Can they come up with a set of items which is nicely defined and concise enough so other people can understand? There's working group last calls out for a couple of documents, and they're really keen on getting review because this is an area where if you know something about this subject, you might be able to input a little bit more flavor about the IETF as a whole on the documents that are going through the CDNI group. So please go along if you can. Please look at the documents if you can, and do not feel inhibited about offering any review questions you might have, because they would appreciate all questions.
And I guess I will, unless Suresh has made it here in the last couple minutes, I guess I will talk to the AAPREF area. So AIPref is a working group that was chartered fairly recently. They met for the first time at the last IETF in Bangkok. And what they are working on is a way to express preferences to AI models and companies that are training AI models about what the owners of content would and would not like done with their content. So whether it can be used as the input to a model to synthesize something, whether it can be used to train models, and how do you communicate that, whether that's HTTP headers or robots.txt or embedded in the metadata of the resource itself. And this is an interesting space, not only because it's kind of the Wild West at the moment in terms of what people think they can do and what content owners want done, but also because in response to that situation, there's legislation being developed actively. And so this working group is treading the fine line. Obviously, we're not the protocol police. We are not a governmental body. We can't define the legislation. And we don't want to define the legislation because there are a lot of different regimes through the world as to how this is intended to work. But what this working group can do is to define building blocks that could then be given teeth with legislation in countries that choose to do so. So this has seen interesting participation, not just from technology people, but also from policymakers and people on the legal side. And so trying to get everybody to talk to each other and understand what their words mean in different contexts has been an interesting challenge, but I think it's going well. They just completed a meeting in London where we had 2 days of conversation, and they will be meeting later this week as well. So this is moving quickly. We are hoping to have initial documents published by the end of the year, certainly, and perhaps before then, at which point they'll recharter to potentially do some extensions. And we expect that there's some related work that will happen outside of the IETF as well. For example, when we think about embedding those preferences in different media types, we're not going to go through every media type and attempt to define them here, especially not in one working group. But if we have some components and building blocks that then could be used by, say, the owners of PNG or the owners of PDF to express the preferences and just define how those get embedded into a given resource. So if you've looked at the list of side meetings, it's all about AI. AI can do everything. AI, use everything, use AI for everything and everything for AI. And this is about saying, well, but people also should have a say in how their content and their servers are used for that.
So Mike, the AIPref's making quite use of interim meetings.
Yes.
And they're progressing their work in interim meetings. So if somebody wants to get engaged with them, how do you get engaged with them? Do you turn up at these meetings by just joining via WebEx? Well, how welcome are new people in this meeting?
New participants are always welcome. So first off, like anything else at IETF, the mailing list is always the central point of contact. Meetings, some of them are over WebEx and MeetEcho. Some of them are hybrid with also in-person components. In the in-person ones, we sometimes have space constraints, but I don't think for the last one we turned away anyone who registered by the deadline. So always feel free to participate in whatever way is most convenient for you.
Okay, and are there any more questions about the things we've talked about or the area in general? Does anybody have any questions? Comments? Would they like us just to stop speaking so you can do whatever you like? Because I think we've reached the end.
You can go early to lunch then. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.